Welcome to this congregation and our Christmas Eve service. I'm Beck Stow, and we're glad you have joined us in our sacred space, and hope you will experience love, acceptance, and inspiration. As some of our family return home for the holidays, we gather to celebrate a special Christmas Eve service. An inspiring feeling of peace will blanket us as we listen to winter stories and sing our favorite seasonal hymns. Our first song this evening is We Wish You a Merry Christmas. The original Christmas carol, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, was first sung in the 1500s, from the poor to the rich. If you listen carefully to the lyrics, "Now bring us some figgy pudding," and "We won't leave until we get some," suddenly makes sense. The carol singers would refuse to leave from the doorsteps of the homes until food rations or money were given in exchange for the songs. So please join us in singing this first Christmas carol, and the words will be on the screen.
And before we demand some figgy pudding, as we have a whole bunch of families gathered here that might not always be together when we see each other every Sunday, our beautiful carol singers from the congregation, we're going to start with an opening with the Kelly siblings playing "Oh Holy Night," and then when we get into our hymns, please join us as a congregation. So to get us in the festive spirit tonight, "Oh Holy Night." join us all together as you are able with the words on the screen for all of these hymns. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Next up, I'd like to invite Alex Kelly up here to help me light the chalice. Got your paper? Okay. We light this chalice to lift the winter gloom.
We light this chalice as love fills this room.
We light this chalice as stars come to birth.
Let us celebrate this season and peace on earth.
Nice job. I now invite Scott Christenberry up to give us our opening words.
Our call to worship this afternoon is Into the Bright Circle by Reverend Alfred Cole. Into the bright circle of light and life, which is the Christmas season, we have come. Out of the routine ways of living and the drab little ruts of habit, we have come to warm our hearts and minds at the cradle of the child. May something of the beauty, mystery, and promise of this lovely old story fall like silver rain upon the broken dreams, the hates and fears of all. Once again, as we pause, we look up, and in the far-off distances we hear that old, old music of hope, brotherhood, sisterhood, and blessed peace. Now please join me in singing hymn number 246, O Little Town of Bethlehem.
Silent stars go by, letting the dark sea
Oh, it's me. Okay. We come together tonight to remember the history, or the myth, that says hope was born in the form of a baby named Jesus. What is so compelling about the story of Jesus' birth? His life? His love? Why has this story reached across the ages to us while so many others have faded to history? Jesus embodies the best of what humanity can be: compassionate, humble, brave, and mortal. Jesus asks us to make the most of life, to create joy where there is pain, to care for the poor and question the powerful, and perhaps, most importantly, to question the purpose of our own lives. What will we leave in our wake? In whom will we be reborn? What light can we bring in the darkness? Tonight, on the eve of Christmas, we contemplate the significance that one person can have and revel in the joy of possibilities. Please join us now for our next hymn, Joy to the World. And now I'd like to welcome up Sylvia Fisher for our next story.
A Christmas Adventure. I remember my first Christmas adventure with Grandma. I was just a kid. I remember tearing across town on my bike to visit her on the day my big sister dropped the bomb. "There's no Santa Claus," she jeered. "Even dummies know that." My grandma was not the gushy kind, never had been. I fled to her that day because I knew she would be straight with me. I knew Grandma always told the truth. Grandma was home and her famous cinnamon buns were still warm. Between bites, I told her everything. She was ready for me. "No Santa Claus? That's ridiculous," she snorted. "Don't believe it. That rumor has been going around for years, and it makes me mad, plain mad. Now put on your coat and let's go." "Go? Go where?" I asked. Where turned out to be Kirby's General Store, the one store in town that had a little bit of just about everything. As we walked through its doors, Grandma handed me $10. That was a bundle in those days. "Take this money," she said, "and buy something for someone who needs it. I'll wait for you in the car." Then she turned and walked out of Kirby's. I was only 8 years old. I'd often gone shopping with my mother, but never had I shopped for anything all by myself. The store seemed big and crowded, full of people scrambling to finish their Christmas shopping. For a few months, I just stood there, confused, clutching that $10 bill. For a few moments, not months. Can you imagine months in the store? Child forgotten. Anyway. I thought of everybody I knew, my family, my friends, my neighbors, the kids at school, and the people who went to my church. I was just about thought out when I suddenly thought of Bobby Decker. He was a kid with bad breath and messy hair, and he sat right behind me in Mrs. Pollock's grade 2 class. Bobby Decker didn't have a coat. I knew that because he never went out to recess during winter. His mother always wrote a note telling the teacher he had a cough, but all we kids knew that Bobby Decker didn't have a cough. He didn't have a good coat. I fingered the $10 bill with growing excitement. I would buy Bobby Decker a coat. I settled on a red corduroy, one that had a hood on it. It looked real warm, and he would like that. "Is this a Christmas present for someone?" the lady behind the counter asked kindly. As I laid my $10 down, "Yes, ma'am," I replied shyly. "Shyly, it's for Bobby." The nice lady smiled at me as I told her about how Bobby really needed a good winter coat. I didn't get any change, but she put the coat in a bag, smiled again, and wished me a Merry Christmas. That evening, Grandma helped me wrap the coat in a Christmas paper and ribbons and wrote, "To Bobby, from Santa Claus," on it. Grandma said that Santa always insisted on secrecy. Then she drove me over to Bobby Decker's house, explaining as we went that I was now and forever officially one of Santa's helpers. Grandma parked down the street from Bobby's house, and she and I crept noiselessly and hid in the bushes by his front walk. Then Grandma gave me a nudge. "All right, Santa Claus," she whispered, "get going." I took a deep breath, dashed for his front door, threw the present down on his step, pounded his door, and flew back to the safety of the bushes and Grandma. Together we waited breathlessly in the darkness for the front door to open. Finally it did, and there stood Bobby. 50 years haven't dimmed the thrill of those moments spent shivering beside my grandma in Bobby Decker's bushes. That night, I realized that those awful rumors about Santa Claus were just what Grandma said they were, ridiculous. Santa was alive and well, and we were on his team. May you always have love to share, health to spare, and friends that care.
That was a lovely addition. I really enjoyed that. Our next hymn is Angels We Have Heard on High. Take it away, Avi. Next reader is Kara Fisher.
The Trees of the Dancing Goats. Based on a long-cherished childhood memory, this story celebrates the miracle of true friendship, tolerance, and empathy. Here is a short summary. Trisha loves the 8 days of Hanukkah. When her mother stays home from work, Her Ukrainian babushka makes delicious potato latkes, and her grandma carves wonderful animals out of wood as gifts for Trisha and her brother. In the middle of her family's preparation for the Festival of Lights, Trisha visits her closest neighbors, expecting to find them decorating their house for Christmas. Instead, they are all bedridden with scarlet fever. Trisha's family is one of the few who has been spared from the epidemic. It is difficult for them to enjoy their Hanukkah feast when they know that their neighbors won't be able to celebrate their holiday. Then Grandpa has an inspiration. They will cut down trees, decorate them, and secretly deliver them to the neighbors. But what can we decorate them with? Babushka asks. Although it is a sacrifice, Trisha realizes that Grandpa's carved animals are the perfect answer. Soon her living room is filled with trees, but that is only the first miracle of many during an incredible holiday season.
At this time, we will be passing out the offertory baskets. December, our full plate recipient is AHTN, the Advocates for the Homeless and Those in Need. AHT runs Code Blue, and they provide transports and meals for those in need. So please give what you are willing and able while we play a hymn. I don't know what's going to happen next.
We're going to do something. We got a little something cooked up.
The offering is given and received with gratitude. Thank you all so much. Our next reader is Ms. Kyla Ermer.
The next reading is The Moment of Magic by Reverend Victoria E. Stanford. Now is the moment of magic, when the whole round earth turns again towards the sun, and here's a blessing. The days will be longer and brighter now, even before the winter settles in to chill us. Now is the moment of magic, when people beaten down and broken, with nothing left but misery and candles and their own clear voices, kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music. And here's a blessing. The dark universe is suddenly illuminated by the lights of the menorah, suddenly ablaze with the lights of the Kinara of Kwanzaa, and a whole world is glad and loud with winter singing. Now is the moment of magic, when an eastern star beckons the ignorant towards an unknown goal, and here's a blessing. They find nothing but the end of an ordinary baby, born at midnight, born in poverty, and the baby's cry, like bells ringing, makes people wonder, as they wander through their lives, what human love might really look like, sound like, feel like. Now is the moment of magic, and here's a blessing. We already possess all the gifts we need. We've already received our presents, ears to hear music, eyes to behold light, hands to build true peace on earth, and to hold each other tight in love. And now, hymn 237, The First Noel.
First Noel, the angels did say,
our next reader, I welcome up to the dais Michelle Harvin.
All right. I moved to Illinois from Mumbai, India for graduate school. The transition was hard, but the following year, I met my future husband who grew up in New Delhi, India. We were both Hindu and shared a love of food, had easy conversations, and found plenty of humor in our differences, particularly the friendly rivalry between a Bombayite and a Delhiite. As a married Hindu couple, the nuanced differences between our family traditions made creating our own traditions torturous. We each became territorial and exhausted, and it felt like we were trying to make our elders and others happy rather than ourselves. I became nostalgic for my childhood. My father practiced a genuine acceptance and respect toward all religions and instilled the same values in me. His mother was born Jewish but converted to Hinduism. Even though Hindu, my parents did not hesitate to enroll me in Catholic schools. I became well-versed in many church-based celebrations. For Hindu families like mine, Christmas time felt like an extension of Diwali, a lunar celebration in October or November. My life in Mumbai during Christmas included a vibrant cityscape. It was one filled with decadent cookies, sample rum cakes, decorated Christmas trees, and carolers. However, my Delhiite husband had not attended Catholic school and did not share my excitement. He'd wonder why our Hindu household should observe a Christian holiday. Since we had received our token presents during Diwali, there were to be no Christmas presents. Then the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened. The nationalist sentiment that followed often reminded us that we were different. People didn't see us as immigrants who considered the US their home, but as outsiders. We felt homesick and unrepresented. We wanted to erase misconceptions, but did not know how. After our daughter was born, I enrolled our toddler in a nearby Baptist day school out of convenience, and later at the neighborhood elementary school. Our curious chatterbox asked us why we didn't observe Christmas just like everyone else. Our best explanations were in vain. She couldn't understand why we decorated our house a certain way long before Halloween, or our loneliness when no one wished us Happy Diwali. As an immigrant nuclear family without extended family nearby, school events like a Thanksgiving play, chorus performances with religious hymns, and holiday shows had left us conflicted. My husband and I had to think hard about the messages behind religious celebrations. Would exclusively favoring an inherited religious identity while limiting participation in others deprive a child of the joy of celebrations of her community and penalize her for her choices she did not make? Since then, we've decorated a tree at Christmas, and I light a candle in my grandmother's memory at Hanukkah. My husband and daughter decorate a gingerbread house. Lists are made, presents bought, wrapped and exchanged, cookies baked and eaten, carols sung, and Christmas movies watched. As immigrants without extended family nearby, we had to consider how we wanted to include ourselves in our neighboring community. We learned that children did not choose their religion, interpersonal family relations, or the rhetoric of a community that may not fully appreciate diversity. After 2 decades, my husband and I agree. All religions teach the same things: kindness, love, respect, and of being good human beings. Religious doctrines are not exclusionary, only interpretations are. Hinduism teaches us acceptance of others and celebrating family however it is defined. Now we participate in Christmas, and we maintain our Hindu celebrations throughout the year, appreciating and sharing laughter with our cherished and treasured loves. That's the joy that illuminates any season.
Thank you, Michelle, for that lovely rendition of Hindu Immigrants Celebrating Christmas by Nandita Godbal. And I believe next up is a musical interlude from Avi.
With help from Sylvia. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight.
They know that Santa's on his way. He's loading lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh.
And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly.
And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92.
Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe helps to make the season right. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight.
They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh.
And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92.
Although it's been said many times, many ways,
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas
to
to
you.
Thank you both very much for that delightful treat. Our next reading is The Light of the Spirit by Lynn Picard, and it will be read for us by Melissa Kelly.
The Light of the Spirit, shared by Lynn Picard. It happened in the time of Rabbi Akiva that he was walking near the gates of the old city of Jerusalem. The wise sage saw an old man carrying a lantern. He hobbled slowly and carefully as he trudged along. But as the old man passed, the rabbi saw that this old man with the lantern was the blind man of the town. So the rabbi approached the old man and asked him, "Old man, are you blind? You cannot benefit from a lantern. Why do you carry one so carefully? Why a light for one who cannot perceive it?" "Ah," said the blind man, "but you can see the light, and with that light you can tell me if there are pitfalls in my way. And that light is a benefit for me. You can use it to do the good deed of loving kindness in helping one less fortunate than yourself." Rabbi Akiva nodded at the wisdom of the old man. For those who cannot physically see can see in another realm. The light of the spirit of human kindness glows bright, and the wisdom is not held by ages alone. May this season of lights bring you all health, happiness, and joy. May you never know from want, cold, fear, or loneliness. And may the light of this season bring you and all of us peace. Can you join me in singing hymn 225, Emmanuel?
Invite our next reader, Adam Fisher, up to the dais to read our next story, The Boy and His Christmas Box.
Christmas is for love, it is for joy, for giving and sharing, for laughter, for reuniting with family and friends, for tinsel and brightly decorated packages. But mostly, Christmas is for love. I had not believed this until a small elf-like student with wide-eyed, innocent eyes and soft, rosy cheeks gave me a wondrous gift one Christmas. Mark was an 11-year-old orphan who lived with his aunt, a bitter middle-aged woman greatly annoyed with the burden of caring for her dead sister's son. She never failed to remind young Mark if it hadn't been for her generosity, he would be a vagrant, homeless waif. I know, right? Jeez. Still, with all the scolding and chilliness at home, he was a sweet and gentle child. I had not noticed Mark particularly until he began staying after class each day, at the risk of arousing his aunt's anger, I later found, to help me straighten up the room. We did this quietly and comfortably, not speaking much, but enjoying the solitude of that hour of the day. When we did talk, Mark spoke mostly of his mother. Though he was quite small when she died, he remembered a kind, gentle, loving woman who always spent much time with him. As Christmas drew near, however, Mark failed to stay after school each day. I looked forward to his coming, and when the days passed and he continued to scamper hurriedly from the room after class, I stopped him one afternoon and asked why he no longer helped me in the room. I told him how I had missed him, and his large gray eyes lit up eagerly, and he replied, "Did you really miss me?" I explained how he had been my best helper. "I was making you a surprise," he whispered confidentially. "It's for Christmas." With that, he became embarrassed and dashed from the room. He didn't stay after school anymore after that. Finally came the last school day before Christmas. Mark crept slowly into the room late that afternoon with his hands concealing something behind his back. "I have your present," he said timidly when I looked up. "I hope you like it." He held out his hands, and there lying in his small palms was a tiny wooden box. "It's beautiful, Mark. Is there something in it?" I asked, opening the top to look inside. "Oh, you can't see what's in it," he replied, "and you can't touch it or taste it or feel it, but Mother always said it makes you feel good all the time, warm on cold nights and safe when you're all alone." I gazed into the empty box. "What is it, Mark?" I asked gently. "That will make me feel so good." "It's love," he whispered softly, "and Mother always said it's best when you give it away." And he turned and quietly left the room. So now I keep a small box crudely made of scraps of wood on the piano in my living room, and only smile as inquiring friends raise quizzical eyebrows when I explain to them that there is love in it. Yes, Christmas is for gaiety, mirth, and song, for good and wondrous gifts, but mostly, Christmas is for love. Now please join us in singing our next hymn, "It Came Upon a Midnight Clear."
Angels bending near the earth to touch their hearts of gold.
going to invite Kyla Ermer back up to the dais to read Meditation from Reverend Christine Robinson.
Let us join our hearts and minds together in the spirit of meditation and prayer. May these moments of quiet lead us to the heart of the season, which is peace. May we breathe deeply of peace in this quiet place, relax to its warmth, know we are safe here, and let us open our hearts to the evening story. Like the wandering couple, may we find our greatest trials issue forth from our greatest joys. Like the harried innkeeper, may we find ways to be of help to others. Like the lumbering beast, may we be silent witness to the unfathomable glory of life. Like the shepherds on the hill, may we know that we need never be afraid. Like the journeying wise, may we always have the courage to follow our stars. Like the angel, may we cry peace to a troubled world. Holy One, to these prayers of our own transformation, and we add our prayers for all of those who suffer and grieve this evening. May they find comfort, and may we add our prayers to all those involved in war. May they be safe, and may this season of peace and goodwill nudge our world towards its ideals. For then will Christmas truly dawn.
And I invite Kara Fisher back up to the dais to read Now the Work of Christmas Begins from Reverend Dr. Howard Thurman.
When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart.
The holiday season is upon us, but this year many of us move toward it with leaden feet. It has been such a year. And because it has been such a year, it may feel forced to enter into the jolly spirit of Christmas, or the joyful spirit of Hanukkah, or the reflective spirit of solstice, the hopeful spirit of New Year's. Thinking of all of this, the Reverend Tess Baumberger offers this responsive prayer. So please respond with the words, "May we find peace." Spirit of life and goodness, may we find peace. When our world is worn with war, may we find peace. When our lives are ruled by fear, may we find peace. When loss ladens our days, may we find peace. When loneliness weighs heavy in our hearts, may we find peace. When despair takes hold of our souls, may we find peace. As we give help to those in need, as we go about our daily duties, may we find peace. As we make our holiday preparations, may we find peace. Please stand, and we will be lighting our handheld candles. The way this usually works for anyone who's new, the flame will be passed around the room. The unlit candle should do the tilting into the lit flame to avoid spillage. Join us for hymn number 250. Before I do the closing words, I just want to give a shout out. I've not missed my dad so much on Christmas. It's when those lights were still on. We extinguish our candles and the chalice that they might glow gently in our hearts. May they light your path as you leave this place, and may they guide your way until we are together again. Our special Christmas Eve service is concluded, but I hope you will stay for a few minutes and enjoy some treats in the cafeteria. And for those of you on Zoom, thank you so much for joining us today. And the next time that we meet for service will be on January 7th. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to one and all.
Merry Christmas.